This meeting is being recorded.
Stephanie, what can you see on your screen? Stephanie, are you still there?
I'm seeing your notes version as well as your first slide.
Okay.
There you go.
So we'll start the meeting now. Good evening, everybody. My name is Eric Eby, the traffic engineer with the city of Portsmouth. And tonight we are going to be discussing the proposal to change the traffic flow on Rains Avenue and Bond Street from two-way flow to one-way flow. And with us tonight here at the AC Hotel is Peter Rice, the Director of Public Works. And also I have Tyler Reese, Associate Engineer, who has helped on this project. And I will get right into it. I have a few slides and then we'll take any comments. So the area you see on the screen, you can see the cursor. So this is the loop off of Maplewood Avenue from Bond Street and Rains Avenue with the intersection of Green Street coming in between the hotel and the condominiums. And the proposal is to have all traffic entering the loop from Maplewood at the southern end near the railroad tracks coming in on Bond Street and then circling around in a counterclockwise pattern exiting onto Maplewood Avenue from Rains Avenue at the near the North Mill Pond. So the agenda tonight, talk about some recent history of this area, the one-way flow and how that was studied and how it would be proposed to be installed and the next steps in the process. So we've had a lot of developments in this area. The hotel that we're in tonight is one of them, the AC Hotel. We've also, in the last 10 years, have saw condos built at 233 Bond Street. And we have the 145 Maplewood Avenue building, which is just about complete and ready to be occupied. And the behind the hotel here on Green Street, there's another proposal for a building to replace the existing small retail stores. And then at the end of Rains Avenue, there's also another proposal for a mixed-use development that would replace the health club and the old Kathy's Cleaners. Currently, the loop here with Bond Street and Rains Avenue is two lanes. It's one 10-foot wide travel lane in each direction, so it's very narrow. There is metered parking spaces on both sides of the roadway. And a sidewalk does run the length of both sides of the roadway from Maplewood to Maplewood. Parking is currently prohibited on the corners because it is tight and the angle and the geometry of the radius of those curves doesn't allow for two-way or parking as well as two-way traffic. Crosswalks exist at the intersections with Maplewood Avenue as well as one at the Green Street intersection and at the public access point, which leads into the future public space along the North Mill Pond. As the project at 53, the Rains Avenue mixed-use project looked at the possible one-way traffic flow in the traffic study, and they analyzed the impacts of that one-way flow to make sure it was a feasible project. And not only did they look at it, but when the AC Hotel was being built, the loop road was put into one-way traffic at that time to ease the construction impacts and to give it a test try and see how things would go for a possible future implementation. We also looked at this loop area as part of the Maplewood Avenue Complete Streets Design Project in 2019. We had looked at it both as a two-way street and a one-way street. And it was determined that it could handle the traffic in either configuration. So the traffic study that was done by the developers of the mixed-use building Looked at all the traffic volumes at the intersections as far as Market Street, Russell Street, Deer Street, Maplewood Avenue. Counted all the volumes during the PM peak hour as well as the Saturday peak hour, and ran analysis of all the intersections. And these are the volumes here that are shown. And they determined that it could be done with no significant impact. There would be some queuing back from the intersection with Deer Street, the signalized intersection with Deer and Maplewood, but that it would not block the intersection with Bond Street at all times. So it was determined that coming in from Bond Street would be easier than exiting from Bond Street, because when you're exiting at that point, occasionally you would be blocked by the queue, and you are close to a railroad crossing. So it's easier to have traffic coming in at that point and circulating around. Also, the sight lines work better up at the Rains Avenue intersection. If you're trying to exit from Bond Street, there's a crest in the road at Maplewood Avenue, makes it limited in the sight lines somewhat. So coming out of Rains Avenue, there's better sight lines in each direction, as well as further distance from the signal, making it easier to get out of that intersection. So to implement the one-way traffic change, there would be some signage and striping changes that would be needed. Actually, the striping changes wouldn't be too significant because it would just be the double yellow line at each intersection would need to be removed. There is no double yellow currently in the rest of the loop. And so that would not have to be removed, just at the intersections. In addition, the stop bar and stop sign at the Bond Street end would need to be removed. And then additional signage would need to be placed at the intersection of Green Street and each of the driveways coming out onto the roadway. So there be no right turn sign coming out of the driveway from the 145 Maplewood building. There'd be no left turn coming out of the AC Hotel driveway with one-way signs. And then for the new driveway for the Rains Avenue mixed-use project, there would be a no left turn and a one-way sign as well as down the Kennebunk Bank parking lot, you have a no right turn sign coming out of there along the one-way sign. So those changes can be implemented fairly quickly once this is approved. And the next steps in this process to get it approved is that city staff will be going back to the Parking and Traffic Safety Committee at their May meeting and with a report back on any input that we received tonight from the public or the business owners along the roadway. The Parking and Traffic Safety Committee will then make a recommendation on the traffic flow to the City Council. And when the meeting minutes go to the City Council for their approval, that's when the one-way flow can be implemented on a trial basis. And the one-way flow as a trial basis will last until the City Council approves it. It could be a trial for up to a year or whatever the City Council wants to take it up as a final approval. So once City Council approves it, even as a temporary measure, then we can come out and implement the changes, which is changing the signage and the striping on the roadway. In addition to that, we'll have advance notice, message boards will be placed informing drivers of the change, upcoming changes, and when the change goes into effect, so we don't have any accidental two-way traffic. So with that, that ends the slide presentation. If there's anybody, attendees, I see nothing. So. There don't appear to be anybody online, but I'm glad to take questions from the audience here at AC Hotel.
I do not have any questions. Just a quick comment. Chris Moulton, I'm the general manager, the regional director of operations of the hotel. I actually agree with all this. I think it'd be from a safety standpoint, make it much easier for my guests and my valet to operate the street. So definitely for it.
All right. Thank you, Greg. That, I don't see any other comments. We will end this presentation and the meeting. Thank you very much.